Hey everybody, what's up? You know how I've been doing Star Wars reviews and I already did episodes 1 and 2? Well, I thought, hey, I could do episode 3, but everybody knows how that review would go. So I'm just gonna do something different and do a preemptive episode 9 review. The movie hasn't come out yet, but let's review it. Okay, so there's not a lot of preemptive reviews out of episode 9 because that's not really a thing that people do. So get this, alright? Episode 9, if it doesn't go this way, then it's probably going to get like a 1 out of 10. If it does go this way, it's probably going to get like a 10 out of 10. Actually, it's probably not true. It's probably going to be more like a 4 out of 10 and like an 8 out of 10, respectively. We'll see what happens. So here's what episode 9 should be like, alright? I haven't written a lot of movie screenplays. I've written a few, but I've written a lot of video games. So this might be a little bit long, because video games are a little bit long. I'm also going to try to hit every demographic if I can, except for those people who love the prequels. Just kidding, they're going to get some fan service too! Alright, so you remember how in episode 3, Emperor Palpatine was telling Anakin about how he had this master named Darth Plagueis, who everybody always quotes all the time, who said that, like, he could revive people from death or save people from death or whatever? Well, guess what? That's gonna be the case. And it turns out, just like everybody thought, because it was super predictable, even though Rian Johnson didn't do it, Snoke is gonna be Darth Plagueis. Now this is going to appease both those prequel fans because, I mean, why would anybody ever like episode 3? Also, it's going to appease those people who are fans of the Star Wars Legends canon because in that storyline there's this comic book called Dark Empire. And in that story, Palpatine turns out he figured out how to turn himself into a Force ghost, and then he had a whole bunch of clones, and he could go into the clones with his Force ghost and he could control them, so then he could live forever, basically, but then they killed all the clones. And then later on, in like another comic or something, or another book, he tries to possess, from his last dying clone body, Anakin Solo, the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia. So hey, spoilers for episode 7 if you haven't seen that yet, because, I mean, why would you not have seen that yet? Kylo Ren is actually Ben Solo. He's the son of Princess Leia and Han Solo. So you know what would be great if Snoke was actually Darth Plagueis and he used his Force Ghost spirit to possess Kylo Ren. That'd be real good. It would also have a good case for Kylo Ren to be conflicted again. So like they could have a bunch of scenes where Snoke is like, "I'm not really dead, bro," and Ben Solo is like, "Ah, dang, man, now I'm conflicted," and then Snoke possesses him or whatever, because, you know, that would be cool. And then Rey can go around all these different planets, and she can tie it all together. Like, she has a force vision where she's like, "Hey, man, I gotta go to this planet." And she goes to that planet, maybe it's like Naboo or something, you know, from episode 1, she meets Qui-Gon, and that'll be a good excuse to put Liam Neeson in there and appease the prequel fans a little bit more. And then she meets his Force Ghost, because he's the guy in episode 3 who they said was, like, figured out how to make Force Ghosts. And then that made Yoda and Obi-Wan possible to have Force Ghosts. And apparently Anakin, even though Darth Vader never talked to Qui-Gon about it, but don't worry about it. Plot holes, yay! So anyway, I'm a video game developer, so while Act 1 is like all about, you know, making the world like understandable to the player and explaining the story so far, Act 2 is pretty much just an episodic storyline where they planet hop and go all over the place. In the Star Wars context, that basically looks like KOTOR 1 and 2, Knights of the Old Republic. Those are some good games. So we're going to tie the whole franchise together by Rey going all over to these different planets. First she meets Qui-Gon on like Naboo or whatever, and then she maybe goes to Tatooine, meets up with Force Ghost of Obi-Wan, maybe goes to Endor, meets up with Anakin, she goes to Dagobah, meets up with Yoda, maybe she even goes to Ahch-To or whatever, in the planet from episode 8, and meets up with Luke. She goes to 5 planets, gets all these Jedi Master ghosts on her side, and then she goes to confront Kylo Ren, who's possessed by the spirit of Darth Plagueis. Maybe along the way she meets up with somebody who's like, "Oh man, like the stars have been at war for this whole time," and then pays some lip service to the prequels, and she's like, the Separatists and the Republic, the Rebellion and the Empire, the First Order and the other rebellion, like they're you know, they're all always been at war. They've never done anything for us. All we want is some peace in the stars. And then they can actually use the title in the movies, because, I mean, they haven't done that before, right? Like, Yoda was like, "Hey man, the Clone Wars have begun," but he didn't say the Star Wars have begun. So we gotta get some of that, and that's gonna impress all the fanboys who are like, "I know Star Wars, I love me some Star Wars," and then when they mention the plot, everyone in the theater is gonna kind of giggle, you know, it's gonna be like some of that Disney humor, so you can impress both like the fanboys and the Disney CEOs. See what I mean? We're hitting every demographic here. We gotta get everybody happy, we gotta get everybody to love this episode 9. But now what about the people who liked episode 8? I know there aren't a lot of them. But anyway, hey, we gotta appease them too. We gotta make everybody happy with this movie. So at the end, you gotta show up at the not Death Star, wherever Kylo Ren is hanging out, who's possessed by Darth Plagueis. And Rey's gonna be like, on the way there, she's gonna be talking to the Jedi ghosts, and she's gonna be like, they're gonna be like, oh, we gotta kill him for the safety of the galaxy, and she's gotta be like, no, I see some good in him, like Darth Vader and Luke, and you have a callback to that whole thing. You could put the Emperor's theme in there when she shows up to fight Darth Plagueis. Maybe you even throw in some of that Darth Plagueis theme from episode 3, just to tie it all together. So anyway, she goes and confronts him, and then they pay some lip service to that thing that that Asian lady said in episode 8. I don't even remember her name, honestly. Her characterization was kind of awful, but she says to Finn, like, oh, love will save us, not sacrificing ourselves, you know, like that thing that heroes do. Anyway, Rey pays some lip service to that, and then she's like, we're not gonna win by death, we're gonna win by life, we're not gonna win by sacrifice, we're gonna win by love. And then they have an excuse to kind of bring back that, like, subplot where Rey and Kylo Ren were kind of in love with each other, I guess. Like, there was that weird sexual tension scene where, like, Kylo's shirtless in episode 8, and Rey's like, could you put a shirt on? And he's like, no, I love the dark side, or whatever it was. Because then you can have that situation where, you know, it's like poetry, they gotta rhyme, right? So you can bring back the whole thing over, like, oh, it's a love story from, like, episode 1, 2, and 3, where Anakin and Padme are like, oh, we love each other, but it's forbidden love, and then she's gonna be like, no, because, like, love can save us, or whatever, like Asian lady said. I genuinely don't remember her name. Her characterization was awful. I have no idea who she was or what her point was in the movie. Anyway, this is a review about episode 9, not episode 8. I already reviewed that one. Go check out my video if you have like 45 minutes to spend on nothing. But anywho, Rey's gotta like have some contrived reason to have to convert Kylo Ren to the light side, because that's the only way to get Snoke exorcised from him. From Ben Solo. So she's gotta be like, no, there's good in you, and I can see it. And then he's like, okay. After some struggle, maybe they have a little lightsaber fight to appease people who like lightsabers. You know, you gotta throw some TIE fighters in the movie and whatever too, because the whole thing's already sort of designed to appease the fans of the original trilogy, because they already got, like, you know, the Empire and the New Rebellion and the New Republic with the Star Destroyers and the capital ships and the space battles and the lightsaber fights and the stormtroopers and all that jazz. I mean, really, putting a weird kind of forced love story in there, not really that it was forced, but the like a love story like an Empire would be great, because that would also appease the fans of episode 5, we're like classic Star Wars fans. That'd be great. Maybe you can have this whole situation where while Rey's going around to the different planets, she's hounded by the spirit of Darth Plagueis too, and he's like, you'll never make it and whatever, and then you can have that traditional archetype, like the devil on your shoulders telling you to do bad stuff, but then maybe Qui-Gon's on the other shoulder like, oh, I'm Qui-Gon, you're a good guy, or whatever he would say. I mean, because not like he was a good guy, right? I mean, he tried to use the Force in episode 1 to cheat Watto out of some money, and he was gambling all the time and cheating at gambling and using the Force to move that die, and like, you know, leaving Anakin's mother on the planet even though, like, she was gonna remain a slave and then get killed by Tusken Raiders. Like, spoilers for episode 2, whoa! Long story short, like, Rey's able to convert Kylo Ren back to the light side, all the Force ghosts send Darth Plagueis out of the picture for good, or maybe not, we'll see, depending on if they want to make more episodes, because they're Disney and they love money. Honestly, if this movie's long enough, they could split it up into episodes 9 and 10, or they could do, like, parts 9-1 and 9-2, like, you know, Hunger Games or Harry Potter, or like, you know, The Hobbit, and maybe stretch it out to 3 parts. But that would probably be a bad idea, because, like, you know, Star Wars isn't Final Fantasy. You can't do 10-1 and 10-2. You can't do 9-1 and 9-2. It's not Japanese. It's not going to fly with American audiences, I don't think. But hey, it might be popular overseas. You never know. So anyway, that's my plot for episode 9. And if it's not that, it's probably going to be like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. If it is, it's probably going to be like an 8 out of 10. Maybe even a little bit more, you never know. Maybe it'll actually be a good Star Wars movie, we'll see. But anyway, that's my Star Wars movie. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Like it if you liked it, or dislike it if you thought it was garbage, because it very well might be garbage. I don't know, I'm just kind of recording this off script. There's no script. I'm just recording this. Bye.